Hi everybody, I assume I'm recording. Okay, so I'm just taking a quick break from working on an assignment for my class, and I thought I'd do a little bit of cooking, and I thought I'd share this recipe with you. What this will be is pinto beans with brown rice and tomato paste on tortillas. Okay, so here's what you'll need. I have some ingredients here. First, you'll need, this is in no particular order, you need some brown rice. Okay, this is brown rice in here, and you can see this is probably about all I'm going to use, or even less. You need some pinto beans, and these are I'm going to use a lot more than this. I have another bag that's unopened, but it basically just shows you what they are. This is what they look like, pinto beans. See, okay. And you need a can of tomato paste. I'm intentionally not showing you the label, but this is a 6-ounce can. Okay, this is tomato paste. The only ingredients in here are, let's see, it says tomatoes, tomato pulp, and citric acid. Okay, next you need some tortillas, corn tortillas. I mean, if that's what you want, or you can use whole wheat tortillas. It doesn't have to be corn. I'm going to have corn. And you can use yellow corn or white corn. I'm not going to show you the brand label on this, the logo, but this is a big bag, but tortillas of your choice. And you need a saucepan and I guess something to stir it with, a spoon or whatever. And the other thing you might want to add is when you finish with the rice and the beans and the tomato paste, you might want to add, I'm going to stir in some oil. This can be your choice of oil. In my case, it's probably going to be sunflower oil, but it could be safflower oil, or you can have just lots of different kinds of oil. You can put peanut oil in there, or if you want, you can have olive oil. I don't use olive oil much for cooking anymore. And there are just many different types of oil you can put in there. But basically, what this is like, I have another vegetarian food idea recipe on this channel, and it is just pinto beans and brown rice. But with that one, it's similar. This is similar to that one, except with that one I use dried tomatoes. And here I'm using tomato paste. With that one, you can use tomato paste too. But the other thing is when you cook this one, you use less brown rice in the ratio of pinto beans to brown rice. So for if you're just having pinto beans and brown rice, you can put more brown rice. But since you're also putting this on corn tortillas later, you need less brown rice in the ratio. So that should be pretty obvious. And I will be back later showing you how things are going, but I just sort of set you up here with the basics. Hope you enjoy this. Have a super great time. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm back. I'm trying to get this thing to autofocus, but I have the beans and rice here. Oh, there it focused. Oh my gosh, this thing just there. I got that. Okay. Oh my gosh, my spoon went in there. Okay, so everything's going wrong, but look, I got this stuff on the finger. This is the hot beans and rice, and I'm looking at this through the viewfinder, so I can't really see what I'm doing all that well. But what I did was I cooked the beans. Let me just set this down. This is going to fall in there maybe. Okay. All right, so I cooked the beans by putting them in water, and then I brought the water to a boil, and then after that, I just turned it off and let it sit for a while, probably more than 20 minutes. Next, I added the rice, brought it up to a second boil, turned it off, let it sit for at least 20 minutes again. And then I brought everything to a boil again, and then turned it off, let it sit for 5 or 10 minutes. And then I added the tomato paste, and then I added some sunflower oil after that. So it's too thin and runny to put on the what do they call them, tortillas at this point. So I'm gonna stir in some soy flour. Okay, I'll be back with that. Okay, I'll show you what that looks like. Okay. Okay, so this is the back of the package. This is soy flour, and it's not organic, but it's soy flour. You can see there. I'm going to stir some of that in, and then I'll be back. And then that should be thick enough to put on the tortillas. So I made it a little bit thin, and that's why I want to stir in this soy flour, but it should be good for a good protein boost. Okay. Okay, so now here, as you can see, I have the soy flour. I put it on the top. I have not stirred that in yet, but you can basically see what it looks like, and that is the soy flour. It's full-fat soy flour, not organic.
And I wanted to mention something interesting. Oh yeah, I will not be adding any spices to this. So the tomato paste alone should add enough flavor, and that should be sufficient. Okay, I'll be back when I have that stirred in, and we'll see how it all goes. Okay, I'm back again. Now, I actually stirred in all that soy flour, and it was still a little bit thin and runny, so I added a little more. So this is some more that I put on top after I stirred in that first amount. Now, I will stir this in, and I think I've added enough, so I will not add any more. You know, you can really just use your imagination when you're doing this sort of thing. If you want to stir in some whole wheat flour or cornmeal or whatever, you know, to thicken it if you got it too thin, you can do something like that. Okay, but I think I'll stop at this and then I'll have it, you know, I might add something else, but if it's too thin, and then I'll put it on a tortilla and show you what that looks like. Okay. Okay, surprisingly enough, the mixture was still a little bit too thin and runny. So I have here just some plain yellow cornmeal. It's not organic. And I'll put some of that on top and stir that in, add that to the mixture, and I think then that should do the job. So let me pause this here. Okay, so now we have the yellow cornmeal sitting on top. Now you can see that this is not at all lumpy like the soy flour was. It's really granulated. You can see the individual granulation. And so you can see that that's going to be stirred in next, and I think that should be it because I don't want to stir too much in there, but should be some decent food, so let's get this going. Okay, I have stirred in the cornmeal, and I think that's really about all now that I will end up stirring in for this, but it's still a bit thin and runny. Let me get my hand over here and stir this a bit. So it's pretty thin and runny. I don't know. It'll probably thicken over time in the refrigerator as, you know, moisture steams out of it and stuff, but you can put this on a plate and then put a tortilla down and then just sort of spread some of this on a tortilla and eat it, you know, it's really too thin, but I had a lot of oil added in here because I wanted to use up some of the oil I had in the bottom of the bottle, but it was sunflower oil, and really I'm not worried. I know this is really good nutritious food and it'll do me a good job, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, I spilled that because I'm looking through the viewfinder, not directly at it. Okay, now at this point, as you can see, I have one single corn tortilla on a small plate, and basically the idea is just to spread a little bit of the mixture that I made on top of that, and then you can just eat it. You know, you sort of break it up and cut it with your utensil. If you're using a fork or a spoon, you know, you can just cut the whole thing, sort of like a pizza. So this would be like the little crust, and then you have the topping on top. Okay, hold on a second. I'll pause this, and I'll show you how it's all going to be. Okay, so here we have the finished product. These are the beans and the rice and the tomato paste and the soy flour and the cornmeal and the oil all mixed together sitting on top of the tortilla. Obviously, I made this way too thin and runny, but you know, that's the way it goes, but it's still pretty well cooked. So you just sort of slice into that like a pizza and eat it, and don't spill it or anything, but there's the original mixture there, and there's the tortilla. So basically what you can do is, you know, you don't have to add the soy flour and the cornmeal to thicken it, you know, or too much oil. And you can just sort of do this your own way, but it's a good, fun little thing that should give you a perk up, you know, the decent food, high protein mixture of grains and legumes and decent food. So I'm gonna pause this, and then I'll check on out with you. So hold on a sec. Okay, so here I am. I actually had to cut off the video because I couldn't switch to the front camera. But so I'm just checking out here with you all. Hope you enjoy this. It should be decent, but you know, like I said, I kind of goofed it a little bit. But you know, that's the way it goes. But you know, basically, there's food to eat, and it's going to work, and it was fun. So hope you enjoy all this and have a super great time. Thanks a lot, everybody.